Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of Your Next Level Mastermind. And our topic for today is called The Biggest Decisions I've Ever Made. Right? The biggest decisions I've ever made. And we've got some people here who are prepared to open up their heart and open up their thoughts to share with you the biggest decisions they've ever made. Because as a person and as a business owner, you may find some interesting thoughts coming from this. But before we get them to do that, I would like to give them the opportunity to share with you who they are and what they do. And I strongly encourage each of you who are watching this to make sure you access these people. They'll have links under this video. They are there for you to access them. They are ready, willing, and able to talk with you, to share with you and help you in any way they possibly can. So please don't think of this as some sort of spam fest. This is an opportunity for you to reach out and start building your network with people who know what they're all about, okay? So to start with, before we get to the actual topic itself, let's introduce some of them one by one to you. And I will start with John Allen, followed by Pat Dreyer.
Hi, everyone. I'm John D. Allen. The three biggest problems that I solve for people is I help them find their ideal client, how to convert those ideal clients into paying customers, which increases the cash flow. That helps your business so you can grow the business of your dreams. I'm located in southwestern Ontario, but I serve English-speaking countries and people all over the world. This week, I'm looking for struggling business people and entrepreneurs with those three problems of needing lead generation, lead conversion, and increasing their cash flow. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, John. Wow, right on the button. Okay. Pat Dreyer, followed by Yvonne Jones.
Thanks, Peter. Hey, everybody, I'm Pat Dreyer, and I'm in network marketing with My Daily Choice. Now, I show people how to attain freedom through residual income, and we offer a turnkey business. You can actually join it for free and start earning a check as early as next Thursday. Now, why do I do it? In today's environment, there's a lot of people out there that are just stuck and uncertain about the future. And with the global economy and inflation the way it is right now, we all have one thing in common. We all have less of everything and it costs more. Well, I'm here to show you how to fix that. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. We have both physical and digital products, so we serve most areas of the world. But what I need this week, everybody knows somebody who's in a bind, wants a better life. And if you know anybody who wants to learn how to make an extra $600 on up to six-figure income, just send them my way and we'll teach them everything they need to know.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much. Yvonne Jones, followed by Jeff Veale.
Good morning, everyone. I am Yvonne A. Jones, and I specialize in helping women business owners, 50 and wiser, grow their business by building strong client relationships and creating memorable experiences. This way, they're able to make a bigger impact, increase their income while having fun in their business. I also help individuals and businesses protect themselves from identity theft and protect their business from cyber attacks. I'm located in Central Florida, and I do this both things. One, because I know the value of having a mentor and a coach, and my clients tell me that I help them to think outside of the box and grow their business. And this week, I am simply looking for individuals to make a connection, whether it's men or women, and to be guests on my Everyday Passion show. I am Yvonne A. Jones, and my mantra is focus on relationships and the money will follow.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you very much indeed. Jeff Veale, followed by Monica.
Yeah, hello, everybody. I'm just having camera problems, but I think I'm right now. My name is Jeff Veale. The company's name is thebusinessgurus.com.au. What we do in one sentence, we have a marketing agency based here in Manila in the Philippines. Why do I do it? I've done marketing for over 45 years. It's a passion. I finally find something I absolutely enjoy. I don't do it for the money. I do it for the passion and the enjoyment of seeing people grow. We're based here in the Philippines, and we serve every English-speaking country throughout the world. Most of our clients are in the USA or Australia. this week I'm looking for people who'd like to have a demonstration, a 7-day free trial of some lovely software that we have, where you can reach out while you go to sleep, you press a button and you can pick up between 20 and 50 new prospects by the time you wake up in the morning. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Monica Periade, followed by Carol Davies.
Hi, I help women and the youngest feel better about themselves, make better decisions, gain more clarity, feel braver to make the changes that they want in their life. So I work on self-esteem, self-confidence, also gain more clarity, feel more motivated, and improve altogether the quality of their lives. So I'm based in Europe. I'm based in Romania at the moment. I'm present online on all the media platforms. Why am I doing this? Because I struggled in my life. So I find a way to feel better, to feel more confident, more strong. So I create the new me. So I want to help people do the same thing. This week, I'm looking for women aged 30 to 50 and not only, and also the youngest who wants to gain a bit more clarity or wants to create a massive change in their life, so I can help them with. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monica. Carol Davies, followed by Marlon Cañas.
Morning, everybody. My name is Carol Davies. I'm located in London, Ontario, not very far away from John D. Allen. My company is the Passion Motivator Coaching Company, and I'm a lifestyle success. I'm entrepreneurs 40 plus who are stressed and overwhelmed and have their life out of balance, find a way to get back their joy and happiness in life, find out what they really want to do, and design the business and life of their dreams. I do this because for many, many years, I worked in different jobs and big organizations, and I had no chance to really know who I was or what I wanted to do. Then when I became a coach, I found out what my passion was, helping people and helping them get their best life. So this week, I am looking for women entrepreneurs who would like to have a discussion to find out how they could get their life back on track and have fun doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And I forgot to start the clock for you. No, my apologies. You got away with that. Marlon Cañas, followed by Sandy Murray.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marlon Cañas. I am a virtual assistant. I specialize in video editing, web development, and graphic design. Basically, I'm a tech and design VA. I help my clients solve their problems on, just getting a lot of tasks that needs to be done. I also help them set up their sales pages, their funnels, and everything that has to do with their business, and also take care of the design part of their business.
All right. The apologies are from Janet and Anthony Pacelli. Okay, both of them can't make it here today. Joy Healy, who is traveling all over the place, and Penny Kennedy. These are all regular people who we have, and unfortunately they can't join us. And before we start the topic itself, I'm asking Marlon to share just 5 minutes of his time about an expert segment in his area of expertise. So Marlon, over to you, and thank you for providing this resource for us. And also thank you for the work you do for me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity to present this topic to all of you. I'll be discussing about delegation. I know there's a lot of experts here who have been delegating their work very effectively. But for those who listen to this or watch this conference that might benefit from this message, I hope, and this is for you. So over the years working as a virtual assistant, I have witnessed a lot of brilliant business owners, coaches who have hindered their growth because they were very hesitant to delegate the work or everything that has to do with their business. And that's why, again, I'm going to discuss why it's very important that you delegate some of the tasks in your business, so you will have the chance to grow, to scale your business. Right, so as we all know, delegating effectively helps save time. It also, again, prepares you to scale your business. And most importantly, it gives you time to communicate with your clients. So instead of having to do everything yourself, instead of learning Photoshop yourself, learning Adobe Premiere or how to edit videos, you can spend that time instead. You can invest that time instead in working with your clients, communicating with them, and probably reach out to your potential clients. So I only have 2 tips right now on how to delegate effectively. So number 1 is choosing the right people to be a part of your team, or choosing the right person that knows what you're doing in your business. So what I mean by that is, don't just if you try to hire candidates, don't just pick the cheapest, because the cheapest tend to be the most in most cases might not be the most effective and efficient option for you. And really spend time talking to them, asking them what their backgrounds are, how long have they been working on projects, and try to really know if they're familiar on what you're doing with your business. Basically, you just have to understand that they know how they can help your business. And the second tip is, be specific and clear about delegating your task. A lot of times there's some issues arise when you as the coach or the business owner delegate a certain task, but then your VA or your staff did not understand clearly the instruction, or the vision did not meet. So it's very important that you have a clear set of instruction as you delegate. For most of my clients, we communicate through emails or videos, but the one tool that I have seen to be very effective in delegating the task to your VA effectively is using Loom, loom.com. So it's a web-based screen video capture tool. They have like a free version of that where you can record your screen for up to 5 minutes. If you want to go over that time limit, then you have to pay. But most of the time, 5 minutes is enough to to send an instruction. So that's that tool is the one thing that I have seen that helped me with working with my clients, and it's basically free. So in conclusion, if you want to boost your productivity, if you want to grow, if you want to scale, don't be afraid to start delegating your work. You can invest your time on the more important part of your business, and one is help growing it. You don't have to spend like hundreds of hours learning how to do graphics yourself, or learning how to build websites yourself. You just have to delegate it, and at least to me, it's a better investment. I think that's it. Thank you, Peter, for this time.
Thank you, Marlon. So really, choosing the right person is critical, okay? And secondly, when you've got the right person, be specific with them about what you really want. And one of the ways to do that, to get the message across you're recommending, is to use something like Loom. Would that be correct? I'm just trying to sum it up in a sentence for you.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Marlon. All righty, welcome back, Sandy Murray.
Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties. I had to change my computer out.
It's okay. Would you like to spend just 60 seconds talking about what you do, why you do it, and everything else? Because you missed that opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, really what I do is just help people start an online business. And I usually do that trying to recommend affiliate marketing as the means of doing that. And the name of my business is TMNN, which stands for Training, Marketing, and Networking. So I focus on those three pillars when I'm talking with prospects. I spend a lot of time on training because I recognize that most people, need to learn some new things. And then marketing, of course, is what makes the world go round. If you're in business, for sure, you got to learn about marketing. And then networking, you got to like talking to people. You got to be out there and make sure that you're available to help people. So that's really about all I do. And I really enjoy it. I get a lot of fun out of it, and it keeps me out of trouble. Well, that's what my wife says anyway.
Thank you, Sandy.
That's
Thank you very much.
me.
Yeah, we'll believe you. Okay. The topic for today, the biggest decisions I've ever made. The biggest decisions I've ever made. Now, how about you put your hand up? Yeah, I see you got your hand up already, John. Put your hand up and I'll take you in the order it is. But bear in mind, we've only got another 30 minutes to go because I know you're all busy. So I want you to make it as succinct as you possibly can, but at the same time, share the experiences you've had in life so people can learn from you. Okay. Okay, John, over to you. What are the biggest decisions you've ever made? You're muted,
John.
Sorry about that. I've had a few of them, but in coming down in priorities as I was thinking about this, one of the best ones was when I asked my bride to marry me in 1979. The next big one I had was in 2000 when I decided to live after having a major brain aneurysm. I had a choice, I guess, go to the other side or keep on living. And the best business decisions I've ever made was hiring coaches because they've been there and done what I want to do. So to all of you here on this call and those out listening, hire a coach, because I'll tell you, they can make your business and life a whole lot easier. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you, John, very much indeed. Okay, Carol, the biggest decisions you've ever made.
Well, I used to, when I first started out in life, I was a fairly traditional person. I went to school, studied, got a good job, couple of promotions, lived life the way everybody thought I should. And then one day in 1981, I decided to quit my job, leave everything behind, and go down to the United States because I was in love and following the man I was of my dreams. So that happened, and my family was totally horrified because this was not like me. And it did turn out all right because I did manage to get a great job eventually with a wonderful consulting firm and with a great career in the UN. And it taught me that I needed to rely on myself, but I just did it. But what I would advise is think things through. This was a major life-altering thing. I went down there not knowing that. I thought, oh, Canada and the United States are very similar. I'll just walk in and get a job anywhere. There was something called a visa and a green card that I didn't know anything about. So I went around to various places saying, oh, here I am, please hire me, and applied for jobs. And they said, what's your social security number? And, you know, what is your green card, whatever. And I thought, oh, I don't know. Anyways, I did manage to get sponsored eventually, but I've learned from that I could really rely on myself. And before that, I had been, you know, really hesitant. And then a little bit later, I made a big decision also to leave. I was in New York and I went over to Geneva. I just needed to make a change because there were certain life circumstances that weren't so great. And I thought, well, I know now that I can do that because when we make big decisions in life, it's in the area usually of family, friends, education, job. It's important to do, but I learned from that, like to think it through though, you know. So for me, it was good because I had never, ever been spontaneous like that. But I'm still glad I made the decision. I look back and I think, I can't believe that was me, but here we are, and I learned from it.
Carol, do you still make spontaneous decisions?
Yes.
Good, good, well done. Follow your passion, follow your heart, right? Well done.
Yep.
Monica, the biggest decisions you've ever made?
In life or in business? That was a good question. In life or in business?
Up to you.
Well, in life was whether to relocate or not, to stay in my country or move abroad and work abroad. In business, if my biggest my biggest decision was if to get into this line of business, into personal development, is a big industry, and to be on my own, you know, to don't rely on a monthly salary and make it on my own. So I think this was another bigger decision, you know, to dedicate my time, my efforts with the risk of failing.
When you make those decisions, do you always have moments of, oh my God, did I make the right decision? Does it ever come across your mind?
I think it came a couple of times, but not at this magnitude. It's not scary, because I knew that even if I fail in business, this is what I'm called to do. So, you know, you live 30, 40 years and then you find your passion. Some people, they find it when they are 5 years old, you know. And I knew there is something that I want, something different that I want to do with my life. But it wasn't early in life that I discovered personal development and coaching, you know. So yeah, it was scary, but not that scary, because I am doing something that I love. So that reduces the fear and the negative emotions, I would say.
Thanks, Monica. What a great message. For those people who are watching, if you heard what Monica just said, it was a calling for her. And for many people in life, they have a calling, but they never do anything about it, ever, because they're too scared to really do it. So I admire you, Monica, for following your heart and following your passion. Well done.
Thank you,
Well done.
Peter. And thank you for the birthday wishes, and to John as well, and everyone. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
It's okay. Pat Dreyer.
Well, let's see here. The biggest decision I ever made, I think, was moving away from my hometown after school. So I moved from California to Denver, and looking back, I think it was the best thing that I ever did, for me personally. Of course, I can always say it's where I met my wife and I raised my family and all this, but the biggest takeaway was changing my way of thinking and really getting away from the grip of all those old paradigms, right? And the change really just helped me grow into someone I could never be with all the continued influence of my past environment. So quite simply, my best decision I ever made was moving to Denver.
Beautiful.
Have you ever thought, Pat, if you hadn't made the move, what your life would be like right now?
Well, I don't have to think. I see it in some of my friends that never moved away from there, and boy, talk about stuck and unhappy. Yeah,
So
I
for
don't
you,
have to
Pat
think
was
about
the biggest and the best.
I'm
For
sorry?
you, it was the biggest and the best decision.
It certainly had the most influence on me throughout the years. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Pat. Good. Good stuff. Yvonne.
Okay, so as I was sharing earlier that I wasn't quite sure where to focus, but I decided to pick one from different areas of my life. So the earliest, biggest decision I made was when I was 13 years old to dedicate my life to serve God. That was my biggest decision. I had been raised by parents who were Christians, but this was my decision, even while I was in high school. And I know what that involved. So it was a well-informed decision, and I've never regretted it. My second biggest decision, well, I put that as the second, but it's not the second. Stepping back, from the time I was 3 years old, I had a passion for teaching. I knew I wanted to be a teacher. Every single thing that I wrote, every composition, everything you wrote about what you wanted to be was teaching. So the goal was that right after high school, I would go directly to university to study to be a teacher. Well, things changed, life changed. My father's job was eliminated in Jamaica and everything changed. So instead of going straight to college, I went straight into banking at the age of 16, right 6 weeks after graduating from high school. But that passion for teaching was always there. And so once I was in the workforce, I decided to go back now to study. I went to Jamaica Institute of Management and I studied human resource administration because I knew that would allow me to fulfill my dream. And I taught adults, especially when I was in HR. Loved it. Another big decision was migrating to the United States at the age of 35. With my husband was ahead of me, so it was with our 3 daughters. And then I got an opportunity to start a side business even while working in corporate America. I always had something else doing because I had that entrepreneurial spirit. So it was never enough to just be walking into a job. I had to be doing something for myself. So I had the privilege of working with about 30 different women to help them start their own home-based businesses. And so I started being called coach, and I'm like, no, I don't like that word. I'm not a coach. I prefer a mentor. So I taught, but I found that teaching stayed with me, and that entrepreneurial spirit. And so when I finally walked away, made a decision, I could no longer contain that. I made a decision to walk away from corporate America because I wanted to pursue my dream full time. one day I woke up and it's like, wait a minute, you wanted to be a teacher, but you've never really taught. And then I stopped and I thought about it, and it's like, what are you talking about? You've been teaching adults from you have been teaching from you for years. And I realized I had fulfilled my dream, and I continue. After I became a certified life and business coach, I continue to fulfill my dream of teaching. So for me, that was one big decision that I made, and I never regretted it. It's to be a teacher because I love sharing information and seeing people absorb that and growing on the basis of that information.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much. Sandy Murray.
Yeah. Well, this is rather interesting. Like I'm 10 years old, and so you have to remember 10 years old, eh? And I was sent to the orphanage in Halifax, and so I had a chance to be there and see how it was run and see how the matrons disciplined us. And anyway, one night I'm out, we all jumped over the fence and went down and jumped the trains, because we used to love jumping the trains and riding down. And anyway, we come back to the home, and the matron, she looked out the window and she says to me, "Why are you out, you know, because of your age, you're supposed to be in bed and in the dormitory." And anyway, it just hit a nerve. And I said to my brother, I says, "I'm running away." I says, "I've had enough of this." So and I said, "Don't squeal on me," right? I said, "That's the main thing. Don't tell anybody." So I took off and I ran. And literally the orphanage was right downtown in Halifax, which was like very hilly. So, I mean, I literally ran for, I'm going to say, a good hour to get to one of the daughters of Mrs. Morris. And I just fell in the door, totally exhausted. And anyway, to me, that decision of running away, because after they had to send me down to the Children's Aid, and I went in to see Mr. Blue, and Mr. Blue said, you know, "You got to stay in the orphanage," and, you know, and I said, "Nah, you'll never keep me there. So you might as well either," because all I wanted to do was get back home. Now, I didn't realize that the lady that was taking care of me had cancer. And so she really just was trying to sort out a problem, because she didn't want to leave me with the responsibility of her daughters. Anyway, that's sort of the major decision in my life, of running away. And I'm so glad I did it, because I did get back to where I wanted to be. And then the second big decision was moving to Ottawa, which got me out of an environment that I was heading for trouble. I could tell you that right now. So I got a good education in Ottawa. And then the next big decision is I was fixing computers and I was doing shift work and everything. And I just made this decision that I'm going to go to Teachers College. So I went to Teachers College to sign up, and I talked to the counselor there. But I said, "Oh, I do have an offer for a teaching job in Toronto." And he says, "Well, take it. Either you're a teacher or you're not." And he says, "Go to Toronto and find out." So I took the job in Toronto, became a teacher, and actually teaching is one of my passions, just like Yvonne. I mean, I really enjoy teaching, and it's probably the most joy that I've ever got out of all the jobs I've had. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope that's sort of a little bit different than everybody else, but essentially the same.
Thank you, Sandy. It's interesting you're talking about teaching and Yvonne mentioning teaching, because I actually was a teacher as well, but I didn't intend to be. But my biggest decision, I'll come to you in a minute, Jeffrey, my biggest decision in my life was so challenging for me. I was 17 years of age. I was full of ego. I was talented. I was captain of the Australian schoolboys football side, okay? And I wanted to become a professional footballer. That's all I wanted to do. Okay. And my father said, "Don't be a clown. Get yourself to university and get yourself a proper education." And to me, I could see no reason in the world for me to go up there and to go to university and to be involved in a scene that I felt uncomfortable with. I just want to be with my mates and play bloody football. That's what it was, right? But my father sat me down. He didn't try and convince me. He made me think about the future and how long I could be and what guarantees did I have in terms of my football career, etc., etc. And yes, I had a couple of contracts with us from 2 big Sydney-based clubs around, but there was no real promises in them at all. So finally, I made the decision to walk away from football and go to university. That was a huge decision for me. It led to me to becoming a teacher and then a coach. So it was a challenge, a real challenge for me. And so that's my story. Jeffrey, over to you.
It's interesting, Peter, because I would have stayed with the football. You never know. Sliding doors moment, mate. We'll never know, will we?
No, that's true. I loved it, and I was good at it, but there was no guarantees. But by doing what I did, I could guarantee what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Fair enough. And Sandy, I can relate to you. It sounds like I was really bursting out laughing. It sounds like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. For those of you who have not seen that movie, that's exactly,
Oh, yeah.
that's exactly what it was like.
I've been there too in the cuckoo's nest.
Fair enough. Anyway, guys, mine's all over the place, but basically a bit like Sandy. I made a decision at 14. My parents told me I was a bit of a rebel, and my parents told me if you don't like it, get out. So I went to the local soccer fields and collected bottles at 5 cents a bottle. When in those days you could get a refund on the bottle. So I'd go and scrounge bottles at the local soccer game, and I managed to accumulate about $50 when a man's wages was about $20. I had about 2 weeks worth of wages, if you think of it that way. And I had that hidden behind a photograph in my room. And then one day on grand final night, I was arguing with my dad, and he said, you'll be leaving over my dead body. And I said something along the lines of, well, that can be arranged. Anyway, he got a chair and he sat outside my door of my bedroom. And I got into my pajamas, dutifully, and got into bed. He didn't know under my pajamas was my clothes, number one. Number two, I'd taken the screen off the window during the day, ready for my escape. So the great escape, I got out at 14. And I still to this day believe it's one of the best things I ever did. But I went and lived life on my terms. It was pretty tough, but it was a great learning curve. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. And then the next one was much later in life when I decided I wasn't happy. So you guys have heard it before, but I left behind the $5 million business, the 6 houses, the 4 cars, $100,000 boat, a holiday house, 3 blocks of land, 50 fair weather friends, a toxic girlfriend, and jumped on a plane and went to Asia. And seriously, guys, within a week, I shocked myself. It's come out of nowhere. I was actually walking down the street whistling. I'm thinking, where's this coming from? But I was just so happy. I was like Tony Barber. And it was interesting. But I've never looked back. I've loved Asia. I love the culture. But the thing I really love about it is the freedom. I do whatever I want to do. I mean, I don't park in disabled zones, and I don't do the wrong thing by people. I run my own race. I pay my own bills. And so basically, I just love the freedom. And as for Australia, there's very little I miss. I can get meat pies here, sausage rolls. I watch the football. There's very little I miss. So that's my story, guys.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Wow. I'm just thinking about you at 14 years of age sneaking out that bedroom window.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's a huge decision. I know.
Yeah, but a very quick one, guys. I went and stayed. There's a bit more to that chapter. I went and stayed with about 30 different guys, football mates, and I was able to sneak under their bed for a couple of days and hide under the bed with their parents not knowing, and they'd sort of feed me under the bed like a dog, give me a piece of their sandwich or whatever. Anyway, the parents would invariably catch me, so I'd move from house A to house B to house C. This went on for a few weeks until I ran out of friends. So then I found this wonderful house, and I put all my things in this house, and I used to get up in the morning and I used to go to the orchard, steal some oranges. And Peter would know the days with the horse with the milk and cart, Peter.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd hear the clip clop. I'd jump ahead of the guy with the horse and cart and steal some money, because in those days they put a little tin out on their front porch with 20 cents under it. So I'd steal the 20 cents, which was quite a bit of money in those days. And that was enough to keep me going for the day. And I'd have a drink. I'd double back behind him and have a drink of the milk. So I had the milk, the oranges, and my 20 cents. I was right for the day. So what happened? I come home one night from a disco. This is about a week or so later. And guys, my house was missing. Can you imagine that? I walked 1 o'clock in the morning. I walked around the corner and my house is gone. Like, what the hell? The reason being, guys, my house was a skip bin. I'd found this brand spanking new stainless steel skip bin behind a shopping centre, and I'd been living in that skip bin for about 4 or 5 days. And they must have realised it was sitting behind the shopping centre not being used, and they must have taken it back. So being an opportunist and not knowing what I'm going to do, I walked down the street, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I sliding doors moment, I came to a main road. Will I go, and it was foggy. Will I go left or will I go right? So I went to the left, found a car yard. And my logic was that people are lazy. There'll be a car door open somewhere. So I went around the cars, and sure enough, within about 20 or 30 cars, I found a car door open. It was a beautiful big Ford Custom line with leather seats. As a kid, I'm thinking, shit, this is an upgrade. I've gone from this stainless steel floor to my leather seats. I'm killing it. So that was my, I always saw the positive things in life, guys. And that's how you should too.
Yeah. My God, Jeff, you make my life sound really boring. Yogesh Kapoor, what about you, my man?
Hi, everyone. I've made many decisions, but I think the two best decisions I made, one was first in high school, when I decided I wanted to run for student council president, because I was an extremely shy kid. I was afraid of opening my mouth. I would panic if a girl came in front of me and spoke, but something inside of me said that I wanted to lead the whole school. And I stood in an election. I spoke in front of 600 students. And after winning that election, that very same day, my confidence just flew over the roof. And I ended up calling a girl, and she became my high school girlfriend. And that just tells you how that one decision changed everything for me. And I think the second best decision I made was in 2012. It was December 18th. My brother-in-law from Indonesia said, why don't you go visit a Toastmaster club? And I wasn't sure. I was very lost in my life. Just like Jeff, I was not happy. I wasn't sure what I wanted. And I just walked into the meeting and they asked me to speak. And the topic was really weird. They just said, if the world doesn't come to an end on 21st December 2012, because that's what they were predicting, it would come to an end, and you were the governor of Hong Kong, what would you do? So I just said I would keep education, food, and rent free, because that's what we keep running around on the rat race for. And, that's what I think people should get off, so that they can live and be who they really are. And I still remember standing there in front of everyone speaking, and it just took me back to high school. And that gave me that, that feeling like, oh my God, I'm born for this. And after that, I competed in so many contests, ended up becoming top 30 speakers, ended up becoming a public speaking trainer, and now ended up having my own online academy. So I think those are the two best decisions I ever made in my life.
Wow. Thank you, Yogesh. Big decisions indeed, but very successful ones, eh? Well done. Marlon, what about you, my man? The biggest decision you've ever made?
I did not raise my hand.
You can't get away from this.
All right. Okay. Just to give you a bit of context, but I don't know in Thailand, but here in the Philippines, our biggest product here is labor. There's a lot of Filipinos that go abroad to work. So you can see a lot of them in Canada, in the United States, in Middle East, especially. And there's a lot of, Filipino communities out there. So basically, it's a dream for every Filipino to be able to go abroad or to migrate there. of course, for financial reasons. So 8 years ago, I had an offer to work in Langley in British Columbia, Canada. So the pay was good, supposedly, but my second daughter, my youngest daughter, was just born that time. So it was. At first I prepared everything. I submitted all the requirements so that I can go to Canada. And then when the time came for my interview for a Canadian visa and the Canadian embassy in Manila here in the Philippines, I talked to my wife and just told her if this is the right thing to do, because I've seen a lot of people from where I live. It took them like 5 to 10 years before they were able to take their family with them to Canada. So there's going to be a huge gap in, you will miss a lot of years, your children growing up. And that's something that I thought I cannot afford, and I can only see my daughter grow up just once. It's never going to happen again. So yeah, my wife told me, do what you think is the best for this family. And I said, I will not go. I will just stay here with you. And so I'm still here, and I'm not sure what happened, what my life right now, if I went to Canada. Certainly I'm not as afraid to speak with English-speaking people like I am right now. Because by this time I would be very fluent at speaking English. But I'm just glad that I have witnessed my two daughters grow up, and it's something that cannot be, changed with money. I'm also glad that I have met Peter and you guys, because even though I did not go to Canada, I still have Canadian friends. So that's something. Also, all of you guys, that's it.
Thank you, Marlon. Thank you very much. I mean, your daughters are everything, right? More important than anything else. No doubt about that. Well done. Chugani, welcome for joining us. What is the biggest decision you've ever made?
Peter, thank you once again for messaging me again to come on. I think one of the biggest decisions that I really made was to leave my traditional business. I was an import and export business before, and literally I would be working until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 times a week, visiting factories, and at the end of the day, margins would be like around 1-2%. It would be really demotivating at the end of the month, looking at how much you really got just by even working so hard. I joined internet marketing around 6 to 7 years back, and first 2 years were dreadful. So, but they gradually picked up. But so I think one of the biggest decisions what I made was really walking away from that line. And this became really apparent, especially during the time of COVID, when I saw all my friends being laid off because everything became just so expensive, and it wasn't just workable business anymore. And yeah, so that was one of the best decisions I made to make a change in my life. Peter, that was one of the decisions that I actually made, and I'm very happy about it right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Jay. I appreciate that, and I can also appreciate the enormity of that, making that darn decision. Anyone else want to add a final note before we wrap up, because it's just about on the hour? Any other thoughts about biggest decisions you've ever made that you would like to share?
Peter, sorry, I'm back, Peter. My microphone decided to go off. One of the good decisions I've made is to join this group. It's fantastic. It's like a family. And I really appreciate being here with you guys.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you very much.
And you know what, Peter, Jeffrey, it's interesting as our decisions go, the amount of personal information that comes out about each of us has been astonishing. And it's great to hear.
Correct.
Thank you, because, you know, I want this group to not be just business network marketing oriented, but family values oriented as well, because I think that part is lacking in the business world, be quite frank with you, and the chance to have people to share what they truly believe and think about, rather than just talking about business, okay, only. I think it's a valuable thing, and that's the reason I'm trying to run it. Anyway, I want to thank you all, as always, for your contribution, okay? And may I suggest that you be prepared for next week simply on this way. Think of the 3 or 4 biggest problems you can solve for people. Make it as dramatic and as emotional as you possibly can, because that's going to draw attention to people, right? And I think, oh my God, I need to talk to Carol. Oh, gee, did you hear what Jeff just said? Oh, Pat said this, right? So this is your chance to promote yourself in a problem-solving way that links to think of the impacts they will have if they don't solve the problem. Think that way. Okay, if you can do that, I think we might find you'll have an even better reaction. So without ado, thank you very much for sharing with me. Thank you very much for your contributions. And I look forward to seeing you same time next week. Okay, take care. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great week.
Thanks, everybody. Great seeing you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.